Happy Sunday. I hope you guys are having a happy Sunday. They don't really talk about what happens when you successfully disengage and close the door to your last narcissistic relationship. They don't talk about how now your nervous system has been hijacked and your memory and all of your sensory information, the somatic impulses and the natural flow of your body have been completely hijacked, and how you have to do the work to get out of dissociation and come back into your body so that you can have healthy or be open to healthy relationships with other people again. Like, it's not just a one size fits all, because some people, depending on their temperament and a lot of other things, may not have such severe effects that other people may have. Some people completely cut themselves off and they go into a deep isolation until it's their last day on earth. So you have to be very careful about how you handle people, especially if you care about them. I know that we can't really, we meet people, we don't know what they've been through, we don't know their story, but that is why you gotta handle people with such grace and give them their dignity, because that's the thing, is that there are a lot of us that are fighting silent battles inside. And I'll tell you some of the things that manifested for me when I was it took me almost 10 years to really heal from all of this. And this is what I've noticed in myself. And so for me, I remember in the beginning, everything was frazzled. Like, my soul was literally fragmented. It was broken up. So I have really lost myself for a long time. There were a lot of days when I would look in the mirror and I didn't recognize myself. I didn't recognize the spirit behind the eyes that were looking back at me in the mirror. I became very distrustful of everyone, and my nervous system would automatically associate somebody who smiled at me or somebody that was trying to be kind to me as a threat, because the narcissist and the narcissists in my life presented themselves as someone that was kind and caring in the beginning when they were wearing their mask. But narcissists always, always, always test you in small, subtle ways. You express a boundary, you speak about things, and this is why it's very important to vet people. But you speak about ways in which you were hurt in the past. And the narcissist is paying attention because they're not looking at it as a means of connection, but instead they're looking at it as a means of how to first deprogram you to make you a viable source of supply for them, and secondarily to get in and cut at your wounds so then they can have you beholden to their approval. And then you completely lose your own identity. You could have been a completely autonomous person. And then they begin the isolation because the narcissist has to be the only voice in your head. They've got to be your true north, and you do not want that. But when it's happening, you don't even realize it, because if you were somebody that your parents taught you that you had to earn their approval, you had to get good grades and all of these different things, and also to give people the benefit of the doubt, and unfortunately multiple times, because when you're conditioned that way, yes, you do rationalize and explain away toxic behavior so that you can feel okay with the fact, but you don't know this off top. Let me just be completely transparent about that. So you can make sense and sort of push away that cognitive dissonance that you're feeling, both internally in your body, and the thoughts, the ruminations that are starting to go on in your mind, when you start to sort of realize the misalignments in the stories that they tell you. And then they know who they're picking, because whenever they accuse you of something like cheating or something, unprovoked, of course, it's always unprovoked. They come home and they're pissed off, for no reason. But the reason has nothing to do with you. That's what you consider no reason. But the reason is because their boss made them feel small because they failed to show up in a capacity that was competent, but that was never on you. So they use you as their emotional punching bag. They use you to regulate the emotions that they can't deal with. And so they will say, you're cheating on me, you're this. And they'll say a bunch of nasty stuff. And you're like, wait a minute, that's not even me. And you will take this personally. You'll be thinking, have I given this person a reason to think this way? Have I given this person a reason to think this way? What is it that I'm doing? And you will try to turn, bend, fix yourself, do whatever. and it was never you. And you see, like, it's so crazy. Like, they're really good at making you a projecting screen for their bullshit. They're just excellent at that. And I had to learn, you know, like eventually as time went on, like I had to learn, because like a lot of people will try to like override your intuition. Like I had enough toxicity in my life to where I completely was like, And plus I didn't have all my faculties aligned, because I was with a narcissist that literally, like, I lost everything. So I was real vulnerable. And of course there were a lot of predatorial people that wanted to come to my rescue because they wanted to use my vulnerabilities against me. That is a huge red flag. And then they will hold everything against you that they presumably helped you with. You don't want that kind of help. And they may want your body, whatever it is. Like, I've been through so much, like, words can't even explain. But when you're in this process of disconnecting from the narcissist, you will, like, for a while forget who you are. But in the best case scenario, you will connect with a spiritual force, hopefully Jesus Christ. But everybody has their, but that was me, for me personally, but everybody has their, you know, way of like getting through it. And you will start to do the work, and you will start to realize that it was never you. But in the meantime, your skin's all dull. Like, I went up to, like, I used to weigh $150. Like, I don't weigh that anymore, because I was like 15 years younger. And so I usually weighed about $150, at the most 165. And I went up to 230 pounds. Like, do you guys remember that show Family Guy? By the time the narcissist got done with me, I looked like Cleveland Brown, okay? It was horrible. And people treated me like utter shit when I gained all that weight. They just thought I was always like this, not understanding that I had a bunch of cortisol in my body, and I was on about 15 psychiatric medications that were also lipid binding. I was tired most of the time. I started developing an autoimmune disease. But what's really crazy about the reversal in all of this is, as time went on and the fog started to lift, I went in and I started training and I started working out again, and the inflammation left my body. But then I got with another, because I didn't learn my lesson. I used to chase skirts and all that. And so that was something that God had to work on with me, as far as like this whole lust thing that I had, because it was leading me into trouble, because every time I would heal, I thought crazy was beautiful. Like, I thought that was attractive. I would get with another woman who was toxic for me. And then, like, when that relationship would end, I'd be all beat up. Y'all should have seen me. I mean, I walked like an old man. I was like messed up. I was like dragging. So I've learned a lot of lessons. So and so like the final straw was like, I need to be single. I don't need to be out there. And people will like try to judge you for that, but I made a very candid choice for me personally, because I needed to work on myself to be healthy enough, because I was like completely blind. I had no boundaries. I was easy to just get on board with everybody else's agenda. Like, I would lose myself, I would self-abandon and all these things. And so, getting away from the narcissist doesn't mean that you're going to feel like good immediately. It means that it's going to take you some time, if you just stick with it, because it's real uncomfortable. You have to go out of your comfort zone. But I can guarantee you, if you do all the work, you have a much better chance at finding your person that's not going to like play hot and cold, is not going to try to like destroy you like spiritually, or like go run a whole smear campaign on you and tell people that you are a syphilis. Am I allowed to say that on TikTok? They banned some of my shadow banned some of my videos because I said some stuff, but then I see other people say stuff and they don't have these problems. So all I'm saying is this: you just gotta be mindful that a narcissist will have you been flipped and everything. You don't want to have to deal with like staying in that for too long, because like it's literally like spiritual warfare against your very identity. And don't let them trick you like that, because they try to put them in you. Like, it's really, narcissists are the ultimate destiny exchange. Like, F them, like, for reals. But yeah, I'm gonna finish the last bit of my assignment. That's, I just have to do one last part of my works cited page. I can add one more site and then we're done. Ow. God, I need help sometimes.